Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, students. This is Professor Majeski coming at you from inside my home. Don't mind any of the background stuff, but unfortunately, because the camera has not been working to project my actual cards, I'm going to be using this pre-recording on Moxfield to essentially playtest. So, keyword, ding, 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 if anyone's thinking about any quiz questions. Keyword right here, goldfish. Goldfishing is a term for when you play test your own deck, essentially without an opponent, and you assume that your opponent doesn't have any options, has a really bad hand, and you just continue playing to see how far you can get. It's just a good way to figure out the consistency of your hand. And I will say, and be honest, this is my third take. And I will say, after 3 takes, all of my hands have been pretty great. So, this hand, as we already have talked about in the previous classes and setups, this is kind of like, not classes, but the previous lessons, in the general basis of Magic is that having anywhere from 2 to 4 lands is very good. It depends on your deck, though, the mana curve of your deck. This deck has a lot of 1-drops and 2-drops. So 2 lands is great for me. The other thing that's amazing is I have this card, Leyline of Hope. Now, Leyline of Hope, if it's in my opening hand, which it is, it actually enters for free on the battlefield, and it normally costs 4. So I want to keep this hand. I have 1-1-drop, a 2-drop, and another 1-drop. And even if that, we're hoping that this could be enough to set up a pretty aggressive board very early, because that's a lot of creatures very early. So we're going to start by putting Leyline of Hope out. Whenever I gain life, I gain an additional life. And then also, if I'm at 27 or more life, all my creatures have +2/+2. So that's going to start. I'm then going to open my turn with my land. I'm going to tap my land, and I'm going to play Ruin Lurker Bat. Now, Ruin Lurker Bat, I did forget when I was building the presentation to mention the term Descended. It's a term from the Ixalan set, which is a dinosaur-themed set. It means that whenever a permanent leaves or goes to your graveyard from anywhere, one of your permanents, that means you descend. So if that happened on your turn, like one of your creatures died on your turn, one of your enchantments were gone on your turn, that means you descended. But the main thing about this creature is not that effect. I would actually say completely cross that out. It's mainly good because it's a flying lifelink creature that costs 1 mana. So unless my opponent has a flyer as well, I can every turn essentially ping and gain 1 life, because lifelink, as we talked about in the kind of review section, the first part of the our presentation today, it's very good to have lifelink. You deal damage, even if it's blocked, you gain that much life. So I'm playing this bat. The descendant part is not going to matter. And then I'm going to go to my next turn, because I can't attack this turn. Alright, so I'm going to play my second land. Yep. And then now I have a couple options. I have about 3 creatures. What I'm going to do now is play another Healer's Hawk first, because more pinging and lifelink. And then I'm going to play Leonin Vanguard, and this card is awesome. So at the beginning of combat, if I control 3 or more creatures, Leonin Vanguard gets +1/+1, and I gain a life. So I'm going to move to combat. I now have 3 or more creatures. It's the beginning of combat. I'm going to gain a life. That triggers Leyline of Hope. I gain an extra life. So I'm at 22. And then I'm going to move to combat, and I'm assuming they still don't have a flyer. I'm going to swing with Lurker Bat. I'm going to gain 1 more life, and then Leyline of Hope. I'm going to gain 1 more life. So I'm at 24 on turn 2. Pretty good. The secondary effect of Leyline of Hope is only 3 life away from triggering, and all my creatures get +2/+2. So the thing that sucks about white, and we talked about this, is that I now don't have a lot of card draw. So I'm praying that I'm getting lands or things that I need. And this comes down to, I guess, the player you are, because you can adjust your deck to have more card draw. It's just a little bit more difficult in white, because, as we said, one of the faults of white is they don't have a lot of card draw. So this is all we can do. This guy came in this turn. This guy came in this turn. Can't do anything else. We're just going to go to our next turn. Unfortunately, I didn't get a land. But I do have another creature, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap 2. Got 2 of the same ones, unfortunately. But I have Essence Channeler. So as long as I've lost life this turn, Essence Channeler gets Flying and Vigilance. We're not going to lose a lot of life on our own turn in this deck. It's not a self-damaging deck. That's a big theme of black, not white. But whenever I gain life, I put a +1 counter on Essence Channeler. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to move to combat. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff happen right now. I just need to figure out, because I haven't practiced how to get counters, +1/+1 counters. So I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, here we go. Got it. I can do it. Sorry. Still figuring this out. So I'm going to move to combat. First thing's going to happen. Leonin Vanguard is going to see that at the beginning of combat, I have 3 or more creatures. I currently have 4, including themselves. And then Leonin Vanguard gets +1/+1 till the end of the turn, and I gain 1 life. Leyline of Hope's going to trigger. I'm going to gain 2 more life. So that's then going to trigger Essence Channeler, because I just gained life. I put a +1 counter. Because I gained 2 life, actually, I'm going to put 2 +1 counters on Essence Channeler. So I got 2. Oh, is there a way to put it +1? Yeah, this little thing is going to be my +1/+1 counters. Unfortunately, it's not. This app is apparently not that good. But now it is not a 2/1, but a 4/3, actually. So that's great. I'm then going to move to combat. Assuming there's still no reach or flying, I'm going to attack with actually everything, we'll say. Boom, boom, boom. So these 2 are going to go through with flying and lifelink. So I'm going to gain 1/2, and then 1/2. I'm at 30 now. That's going to be 2 separate triggers. I gain 1 life from the attack, another life from the other bird's attack, and then it's going to double. So I'm actually going to add 4 counters now. So this individual now is a 8/7. On turn 3, I think? Turn 4, maybe? I think this is turn 4. So I have an 8/7 on turn 4. And this is now not even including the damage that I've dealt. So this will be probably the final, but let's see what I draw next turn. It's not a land, but it is a Sheltered by Ghosts, which means if my opponent had something I didn't like, I could cast this, enchant one of my creatures, probably Essence Channeler, because then Essence Channeler would get +1/+0 and have lifelink. So then he would be a 9/7 with lifelink and ward 2. So yeah, that's a good hand. That's how it works. And with that, we'll cut back to Gavin.